I'm going to do. Welcome, everybody, to the Invisible to Invincible masterclass or workshop with Suzanne Longstreet. That's me. I'm excited to connect with you, and I'm sharing this recording for you if you haven't been able to join me. And there is a workbook as well. So I've got it on gallery view so that I can see everybody's face. And I'm going to share my presentation with you just to start. Share. And you should see, if it's all working perfectly, you should be able to see just the Invisible to Invincible presentation. For some reason, I can't see anybody. Okay, you can see it, right, China?
Yes, you're good.
Thank you, thank you. Okay, great. Let's get going. Invisible to Invincible with me. So one of the things that I know for sure is that when you are thinking your thoughts, you have the choice to either plant flowers and things that will blossom and nurture you, your soul, or vegetables, which will nurture your body, or you can plant weeds. So it's all about the thoughts that you have. Are you planting those flowers or weeds? Who am I? I'm Suzanne Longstreet. I have been doing this work, neuroscience, neurolinguistic programming, coaching, for over a decade now. And I specifically work with female entrepreneurs because as a female entrepreneur, what I know for sure is that when we can clear out our muddled thinking, when we can get rid of the limiting decisions and negative emotions and the gestalts and all of the limiting beliefs that we've had throughout our life, all the negative voices that other people have put on us, when we release all of that baggage, I've seen people step into being invincible. I've seen them soar to greater success. I've witnessed people make double, triple, quadruple their revenue. I've seen people step into 7 figures easily when they thought it was not possible before. And if this is something that speaks to you, then you're in the right place. If you're looking to clear what's stopping you and get into what's working for you, excuse me, this is the place to be. So today, I'd like you to think about how your life would change when you had what you wanted already created, when it was just done, when it was easy. How would your life be different? You can put it in your workbook, you can put it in the chat. I'd love to hear, how would your life be different? How would your life change if you had attained your goals? I'm seeing that there's a problem with the chat, excuse me, with the workbook. You're not able to, thank you, China. It would be so much more fun and such a richer life. Absolutely. Did the workbook link not work for anybody?
I have the workbook.
Okay. It's not working for Cheryl. Cheryl, I'll send it to you. If you can just, okay, thanks, Katie. Cheryl, I'll just send it to you in an email. Okay. Thanks for letting me know. All right. So I want you to be thinking about the future you. Now, I want you to think about where you are now. Where are you now in relation to your future? And this is the work that we get to do, is what's in the way? What resistance comes up? What self-doubt? What are you thinking? Because when you think, when you understand how you're doing the problem, when you understand what thoughts are coming up, you start to get out of feeling invisible or wanting to be invisible and start thinking about how to be invincible. So here are some of the things that you may be doing or thinking about. All of the things that are stopping you. I put this list together based on what past clients have told me. They're taking too long to decide. They're second guessing themselves. They're doubting themselves. Decisions are not easy. They require a committee, talking to everybody, including the dog, and not getting the answers. It's a challenge. But when you're in alignment with who you really are, the answers come easily because you're connecting in with your higher self. You're connecting with your own intuition. You're understanding, you know exactly where you're going, and decisions are easy. You just see them, everything as an opportunity. And when resistance comes up, we just clear that. You're not speaking up. That's another thing that people are not doing. They're not showing up. They're not speaking up. They're not out there on social media enough. They're not visible. These are some challenges. Does anybody resonate with any one of these or more? Yeah. Okay. Good. So one of my past clients is the lovely Sarah Cannell. She came to me a couple of years ago, and she was making about 500K a year. Great revenue. And I have permission to share this. She's shared it on stage, so I have permission to share her story. And she couldn't see the way through to get to $1 million that year. She was hoping it would happen, but it was end of August. And 110 days later, she texted me and she said, I reached $1 million. It was a big celebration. So all we did was the mindset work. And here's where we start is what you think, what you feel, and what you believe to be true about yourself, you will become. And I just want to talk to you about how this thinking has come in. We've heard it from Buddha. The mind is everything. What you think, you become. We've heard it from Patanjali way back in 2nd century BC. The mind is like a mirror. It reflects whatever it is focused on. So choose your thoughts wisely. Napoleon Hill, more recently in the last century, said, whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. And then this one, Neville Goddard, you can create your own reality by changing the thoughts and the beliefs that you hold. Oh, one more, Albert Einstein. Love Albert Einstein. We cannot solve our problems with the same thinking we use to create them. So when I share all of that with you, what thoughts come up? So what if your results were as a result of the thoughts that you're having? Does that make sense to everybody? Is there anybody who goes, "Oh, Suzanne, you're all good." So we're all on board. So the thoughts that you're having every day, when you repeat them over and over, will create the results that you want. So if you don't like your results, change your thinking. Easy to do, easy to say. How easy is it to do? Right. Katie, I can tell by your smile. That's why you might be here. Okay, good. So you've heard this phrase over and over again. Think positive. Oh, just think positive. Just think positive. Well, not long ago, I was I was going through an old journal. I started a new course, and I wanted to talk about I wanted to look and see. I just wanted to pull out some of the pages because I needed a new journal. And at the beginning of it, I think it was 12, somebody had given me the journal and they said, write out all your positive thoughts, your affirmations, and then write out what you're grateful for. So I began this practice over a course of 6 months in my journal. You could see it peter, like daily it started, and then it kind of petered out towards the end. And I went back and looked at it and I thought, oh, good, I am rich. I am successful. I have a successful coaching business. I am the weight that I wanted to be. I am blah, 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 all these wonderful things. And I know exactly why it stopped happening, because as I looked around, I could not see evidence of any of these thoughts that I put on paper, because there was something deep in my unconscious mind that was stopping me from having the results that I wanted. In fact, the real thoughts that I were having deep in my unconscious mind were completely different from the thoughts in my conscious mind. Does that make sense? Yeah. Okay. So it's more than just think positive. I wish that was the answer for everything. I really do. Because it's also your emotions and your feelings have a frequency. They're emitting a frequency out there. Your thoughts are vibration, but your emotions and your energy and your feelings have their own frequency. And when they're out of balance, the stronger one will win. And often it's because 90% of our unconscious mind is the domain of the emotions. 90 over 10 is going to win every time. So your beliefs, are deep down in your unconscious mind, and they run your behaviors. And again, what you think and feel and believe, you will become. So in your workbook, I put which of these apply to you and what thoughts you're having on page 1. I didn't number the pages, but they're there for you to just do some reflection about, because the more you can understand the type of thinking that you're having, the thoughts that are happening, and how it's relating to your feelings, the more you'll be able to identify what patterns you're running inside of your brain that aren't serving you. Okay. So the answer is just change your thinking, change your feelings and your beliefs to create new results. Okay. So we know this, right? Like, is this new to anybody? No. So why is it so difficult? Anybody know? Yeah, Katie.
Reality sets in. And for me, it's also my ADD brain. I just I can get to okay, I need to focus, but then it's like, there's like 50 other things. Yeah.
Yes.
I wanted to say, I love that. I'm ADHD too, and I forget that I'm thinking I forget. Oh yeah, I forgot I was thinking positive today. I had a question when you were saying, okay, how do we know that our subconscious is not matching up with our conscious thoughts? Is it just our results, or how do we know?
Great question. And I'm going to answer that.
Okay.
I appreciate that. That's a really good question. Sometimes we don't. Often we don't know. And that's really the work that I do. So here are some of the clues that I'm watching for. This might answer it a different way. And I do have a slide that's going to address this too. Let me tell you a little story. Years ago, I was working with this lovely woman, and she was it was in the old days when I used to have people come to my house and coach with them. And she put on this really cool leather jacket, like so. And I was like, and it was an off moment. Like she was about to get into her car and drive away. So I wasn't on as a coach. And I said, oh my gosh, I love that jacket. She goes, oh, this thing. Yeah. Every time I put it on, I convinced myself it was a good purchase. So I'm trained to listen to how people are what they're saying, because that's what neuro-linguistic, it's all about the words we use to program our unconscious mind. I went, oh, she's got a convincer strategy going here. Okay, let me just check on this. So I walked her out to her car. She was driving away in a beautiful Mercedes. Forgive me, I don't know which one, but it was an SUV. And I said, that's a nice car. Do you like it? Do you like driving it? She goes, yeah. And every time I get in, I convince myself that it was a good purchase. And I went, oh. 2 times she's made a very similar phrase about purchases that she's made. So when we got together the next time, I started to ask her more questions. How she's doing the problem. How is she doing what's going on? How is she programming her unconscious mind to believe what she's thinking? Because when we have the same thought over and over again, it creates a belief, especially when we embed it with deep emotion, like, I'll never have that. I can't focus. I have ADHD. I can't do it. And the more you tell yourself that, the more you'll believe it, and the more it will absolutely be true. Cheryl. Suzanne, didn't you say that our beliefs are embedded in our unconscious mind, so it runs our yes. Yes, thank you. So we have a whole phrase. We're going a little off tangent, but that's okay. I like it when it's more interactive. Thank you for this. Our thoughts plus our physiology, because your thoughts emit a transmission that goes through every cell and molecule of your body, plus our physiology, plus create our emotions, and our emotions drive our behaviors through our strategies, because you have a strategy that works for everything. How you do anything is how you do everything. So if you're not, so how you know what you're thinking is your behaviors, the words that you're using, the feelings that you have, all of it's linked. So if you want to change your thoughts, pay attention to the clues that are all around you. And quite frankly, that's the work that I do, is I'm constantly paying attention. What are they saying? What behaviors? What results? What are the actions? So like they say, oh yeah, I'm all in on my business. And yet they show up late, or they don't make the calls that they're supposed to do, or they don't post on social media, or they don't make the invitation. You can see that there's a disconnect. And when there's a disconnect, it's because something's running in counter to the desire. Another thing that we have in the whole world that I teach is our work, the coaching world that I do, is the conscious mind is the goal setter, but it's the unconscious mind that's the goal getter. The conscious mind is the goal setter. So with your conscious mind, you can write out your goals, you can do all of these things, and we have to get your unconscious mind on board to take the action and to guide you in that direction. And how we do this is rewiring your brain for success. It's just like a thermostat. You all have a thermostat in your house. We all, between my husband and I, we have 2 different temperatures that we want it, right? So we set it at 72 degrees and pretty much all year round. Now, imagine you have this thermostat. It's like your way it's happening in your brain, but you keep saying 72%. You set it at 72 Fahrenheit. But then you open up the windows because it's a warm day and you expect the temperature to cool down. Well, that's not going to work. It's the same analogy. It's like you can't have a set point and a belief and the thinking over and over again and then do something else and expect this to change. What'll happen is the temperature, if it's cold and you open the windows, then the furnace will turn on and do more to make it bring the temperature up. Or if it's cold, warm out, and you open the windows, guess what's going to happen? The air conditioner is going to come on. So either way, so you've got a set temperature inside, like a thermostat inside of you, and the unconscious mind is constantly, unconsciously moving you towards your set point, your desired goal. And I want to show you this really cool slide. Here's the thing. All of this is not your fault. Okay. I really, 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 really need you to hear that. When you're not having the results that you want, when things aren't going well, it's because there's a program running deep inside of your unconscious mind that's not serving you. And we go in and use tools like neuro-linguistic programming, change techniques, hypnosis. There's all sorts of tools that can be used. And there's many modalities that work as long as you believe that it'll work. Because here's what's happening. This was originally a theory based on the work of Virginia Satir, who was a family therapist many years ago, like in the 70s, 80s, 90s. I don't think in the 90s, 70s and 80s. So what happens is you've got an iceberg. You're familiar with an iceberg. You should be all able to see the iceberg, right? Okay. So the 10% is your conscious mind. That's the part above the waterline that you can see. That's your thoughts. That's the stuff, okay? And then as we go lower under the waterline, you can see the surface level behaviors, the language that we use, the attitudes. And then we go deeper into ethics, and then memories and environment, experiences, cultural influences. Then we get even deeper into values and beliefs. And then finally, there's something called meta programs, which is all the strategies that are running inside of your unconscious mind that you can't consciously get to. There's different tools that will help you understand all of those. So way down below, if you look on the right side, I've put the word thought, THOUGHT. So what happens is way down there in what Virginia Satir called the deep structure of the problem is this word. It's called thought. Well, as we go through, as it comes up through all of our filters, so these things that I just shared with you, deep down, the values, beliefs, environment, memories, those are all our filters. If they're muddy, what happens is that word thought doesn't come up as from the deep, deep, deep inside of our unconscious mind as thought. The letters start to drop off and it turns into, I got a problem. I don't know what it is. Ugh. Ugh. It's just ugh. I don't know. I don't know what it is. And then I see this. We call this kinesthetic language. It goes like this. It's on the tip of my tongue. That's when you know a thought, something's coming up from the deep structure. We're getting there. And if you can't label it, name it, it's because it's like, oh, it's come up through all of this. And that's where the root problem is. So this is the slide I was referring to, China, to try and answer your question of how do we know? Oftentimes we don't, because the unconscious mind doesn't have language. It doesn't speak to us. It can't say, you know, your problem is unworthy. You're running the deep structure of the problem is unworthy. And we know this because this, and this. It doesn't, it's just sending up ugh. That's it. So what happens when I share this with you? What thoughts come up? What questions do you have? Anything? Is it making sense?
I think Cheryl has a question. You're muted, honey.
Oh, Cheryl, are you typing? Oh, it's okay. You can unmute and yes, exactly. There's far more going on beneath the conscious level. Yeah. This is why, and forgive me, I did talk therapy for 10 years, trying to figure out what was wrong. And I could never get the answer. In fact, I felt worse after. I was like, why is this not changing? Why am I not better? What's going on? Why do I feel worse? Why do I not have better results? 10 years. I was exhausted. And what I learned is that every time I spoke about the problem and infused it with deep emotion, because I was reliving the trauma that I had gone through, it was saving again in my unconscious mind, but this time with the emotions that I put on it today. And then it was just getting, what I was really doing was creating heavier and heavier gestalts of negative emotions in my baggage. It was just getting heavier and heavier and heavier. It was awful. So this is why we can't, as Einstein said, you can't solve the problem with the same thinking that created the problem. Okay. I want to share this story with you. This is a lovely woman that I met. Her name is Dr. Lorenzana. And she had, like me, had been through some trauma in her past. And she was stuck. And she had done so many modalities, EMDR, talk therapy, Reiki. She had done pretty much everything, and she wasn't getting the results that she wanted. And so she came to me, we started working together. And when I saw her a year later, she was a different woman. Even her hair was different. It had greater body. She was slimmer. She was brimming with life. Her business was successful, much more successful. And what for her was that it wasn't actually something that her issue, it was something that was ancestral. And when that cleared, her whole life became different. And it was done in one session. The work that I do, though, I have to tell you, it doesn't happen in one session. It can happen in one session, but there's a lot of framework and work that we need to do. So as we're getting your unconscious mind on board so that it trusts that you're willing to let it go, and then it moves on. because your unconscious mind is doing everything it can to keep you safe. And it thinks that the patterns that you're running right now are the best for you. Because your brain is not wired for success. Your unconscious mind is not wired for success. It's wired for survival. And it's doing a great job keeping you alive. Cheryl, you like that? Okay, good.
No, I'm laughing because, I mean, it is doing that. I mean, as you know, because we've communicated, I had a sort of a near-death experience 2 years ago, and have been somewhat amazed about the mind's. Well, first of all, I didn't believe God was ready for me to die. That was my opening question when I woke up from passing out, face down on the floor, and said, "I can't believe you want me to die here in the corner of my car." I said, "I'm doing some good things for you," you know.
Thank God you didn't.
Yeah, and apparently didn't, but it was a pretty challenging day and recovery, and just getting to my phone 20 feet behind me when I couldn't get up. So, but yeah, so I'm, have remained quite optimistic, frustrated about when certain physical things impede my ability to keep charging ahead as fast as I want. But the mind hasn't, nothing's changed since then. It's just more a sense of urgency and driven. And, when you see that something can happen like that, you go,
Yeah.
am I doing what I want? What's the legacy I really want to leave? How do I really want to spend my days? Because tomorrow or today could be my last one. I mean, that's how dramatic a wake-up call it was. And but yeah, so I don't know what I reacted to that you said, but yeah, the optimism.
It's doing a good job of keeping
I
you
was
alive.
before that happened.
So it can keep you alive, but we want to get it in now. It's kept you alive. Now we want to get you more successful.
Correct.
That's the goal. Okay. Thank you for sharing that. I'm glad you're here. So one of the questions that people come to me and they say, what? Well, oh, that's fine, Suzanne. Will this work? Like, seriously, is this going to work for me? It has worked for everybody I've worked with. So it will work for you, because here's the thing. This work that I do is I connect with your unconscious mind. It knows the perfect blueprint of your success better than I could. It's not about me telling you what to do. It's about me helping you to clear out your unconscious mind of all the limiting beliefs, negative emotions, past experiences that aren't serving you, so that, oh, yay, you can have the success that you want. And you get clarity, courage, and confidence. Okay. So what we do together is we find out the true nature of what's keeping you stuck, clear out the thought patterns that aren't serving you. So first we have to identify what they are. And so that's how I do it, with listening to your language, finding out what's going on, what's not serving you, finding out the thought patterns, how your brain's doing the problem, so that we change those deep-seated problems. And it does work fast. Okay. Oh, okay. So I just want to stop it there, because I do have another part of this that I wanted to go through, but I wanted to check in with the workbook. We start on part 3. This is the help to get you to understand the thought patterns that may not be serving you. And Cheryl, I know you weren't able to get the workbook. So the questions are: identify your current thought patterns by asking what you're thinking about most. What thoughts do you have? And these usually come up when we're doing repetitive tasks, brushing our teeth, having our shower. My sister-in-law calls the shower the idea office, because that's when we often turn this off, the conscious mind, and then just pay attention to allow the thoughts come up from the unconscious mind. And what am I really feeling underneath the surface? So paying attention to the thoughts and the feelings, and then seeing if there's a limiting belief coming up. So personal story, a couple of days ago, I was doing some of this work for myself. And because, when you do mindset, you don't stop. You get to do it all the time. And because the unconscious mind is incredible. It's constantly holding on to repressed memories, things that aren't serving us, and bringing them up for resolution when it believes we're ready. Okay, good. You get that, Katie. So I was doing a meditation or something, and it was talking about a time when something that wasn't serving me or something like that. And I had this is real. This happened 3 days ago. And I realized, when I think about a goal that I have, so let's do it together. I'll tell you my story. Think about a goal that you have. Let's do business. Okay. Like, we're all in business, right? Or have a career or something, money. Okay. So let's do business. So think about a goal that you want. Like that's, say, 3 times the amount of revenue. Like just make it a really big goal. Okay. Got it. Everybody have something in mind that they want to create. Okay. Thank you. So now think about that. And this is where the fun part is. As you're thinking about that goal, what's in the way? What thoughts are coming up? Is that possible for you? Is that something like what's coming up? Katie?
So for me, my brain, I totally believe it's possible.
Yeah.
And then what comes up is, I don't know where to start. I don't know how to start. Like, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I can do that, but I don't know how. Okay. So that's the resistance that you're having. I don't know how. So then the behavior. So the thought is, I don't know how. What's the behavior that happens when you don't know how? What do you do or not do?
Nothing.
Right.
Think about it. And I think about it.
And I turn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Are you a researcher? Do you go and do research?
No.
Okay. You just do nothing.
Well, okay, maybe I do. I'm sorry. I thought you meant, is that what I do for a career?
Forgive me. No, it's I'm going to go on.
Yeah, I take lots of classes.
Oh, yeah.
Learn a lot and then never act on it.
Yeah. Yeah. For me, it was, I would go and get another designation. I did a whole presentation in 2014 about how I get another designation and another designation and another designation. Yeah, I have a whole file of them. So for me, what came up when I thought about that big goal, and I went, oh, that's not possible for me. That's possible for others. And I went, whoa, okay. And I've done a lot of work over 10 years on myself. So I was like, oh, that's a new one. And then the next one popped in. If I build it and I make all that money, somebody's going to come along and steal it. Okay, so now I'm starting to see those thoughts come up. And I was like, okay, neither of those are serving me. Great. So I did the technique and cleared it. But what was really interesting is then I had that thought of, oh, somebody's going to steal it. Then a story came up because it was a past experience of when I was 25 years old working for my dad. He hired a guy who he thought he could trust, only to find out that the guy was there to try and steal all my dad's money. And he had a multi-million-dollar business in the 80s. So yeah, so for me, it was real. But then I also remembered, wait a second. I was the one who went, we shouldn't trust this guy, Dad. Hey, Dad, because I was working with my dad. Dad, we shouldn't trust this guy. Dad, we shouldn't trust this guy. For 3 years, I said to my dad, we can't trust this guy. So now I was like, so I rewrote the story in my head from, oh my God, it's not possible for me. It's possible for others. Other people, and if I do it, somebody's going to steal from me. To, wait a second. If I really go back and remember it, my behavior was, Dad, we can't trust this guy. I was the one who said, I could see it. So when I changed that story, things shifted. I was taking action differently because I no longer had that, because the weight of that 90% of my unconscious mind was no longer going, what didn't feel like that big boulder I showed you. It was like, oh, wait a second, this is possible. So now the second book is about to come out. The third book is 45,000 words, so it's going to come out soon. Things are happening. I'm showing up more on video. I'm showing up more. Have you heard another 7-figure coach say, I've heard another this is Cheryl, thank you. That he used to believe that friends or cousins would mooch, like Oprah, right? Would mooch off of him once he became very successful, until he realized that he was stuck at earning 100K. Perfect. He had a thought. He sent it energetically through his physiology. It created an emotion. That emotion drove every behavior, which created the result that he didn't want. Exactly. So we all have these beliefs. And guess what? I wish we only had 1 or 2 of them. We have multiple. They keep coming up. and we get to clear them. They keep coming up because when you clear up these, more come. It's sort of like the beer, the head on the beer. It's like we just got to clear the foam, and then more come up, and then clear the foam. Yeah. Okay. So let me talk to you about any questions about anything I've talked to you so far, because I wanted to move on to my success mindset formula. Okay. So this is something that over the last 10 years I have created, is a mindset formula. And it's about programming your thoughts for your success and rewiring your brain to have the results that you do want. And the first one comes in with decide. Decide what you want. And I've put it on part 4. What do you decide? Because you need to take the thought, make the decision, and then have your unconscious mind start to work you towards what you want to create. And then you've got to commit it. And they have the old saying, you've heard it before, you've got to commit. And, if you have bacon and eggs, this is hopefully none of you are vegan, but if you have bacon and eggs, the chicken is interested, the pig was committed. Be like the pig, commit, go all in, commit to what's important to you. If you say you're going to be somewhere, show up. Now, I had a bit of an argument with somebody about this. They said, but Suzanne, like, if it doesn't serve me, I'm not going to go. I'm like, well, hang on a second. Like, it's about deciding and then committing, being reasonable. I say this to everybody, every client I work with over and over again. In fact, I write it on every email I send them. Focus on what you want, because you would be amazed at how many people forget this. Focus on what you want. Oh, Suzanne, this didn't work or that didn't work. Okay, what were you focused on? Right. I was focused on it failing. Good. You'll get that if you focus on it failing. So focus on what you want. And I will tell you, a lot of people that I work with don't even know what they really want. They're running around thinking that what everybody else wants is more what they want. So be really clear on what you want. And then, of course, take action. Do one thing every day. I hope this speaks to you, Katie. Take action. One thing a day. My coach has me doing reels. She said, I really wanted to see you doing 3 reels a week. So, I procrastinated this morning, but I got it done. But I'm still doing it, and I'm committing to doing the action because I want to be more visible. And I can't be more visible if I'm sitting here in my pretty office with my pretty flowers, writing my book. It's lovely and it's really fun, but it's not helping my visibility. Because when you do those 4 steps, decide, commit, focus, and action, you will get the results that you want. And here's the really fun part. It's a whole loop. It's a whole circle and a cycle. If you don't like your results, change your thoughts, change your focus, change your decisions, go back, recommit. And because you can just keep doing the same thing. And if you're not getting the results that you want, change everything else, the previous 4, because your results are only feedback on what you've been focused on. Your results are only feedback on what you've been focused on. So they're just feedback. And here it is again, the success mindset formula. It's in your workbook, part 4. I put this down because I thought, I thought it was fascinating. This is how much money I've spent. And I did this because a coach years ago, I had decided not to join a $10,000 program because I thought that was way too much money. And so instead, I hired that coach for $2,000, and I hired this coach for $2,000, and then I went on this retreat for $1,500, and then I had to pay $2,000 in travel fees and this, and I went over here and I did this, and then a year later, I talked to the same person that I was supposed to join her program for $10K, and she goes, "So you didn't join my? That's okay. So how much did you spend instead?" And I said, I added it up, and I'd paid $12,500 on stuff that didn't work for me. So I'm putting this down just because I thought, it's important for you to know what other people have invested. Have you invested in things that didn't work for you? Yeah, me too. Yeah. But these do. This was one investment, especially those NLP trainings. those have really served me. So I wanted to share with you an invitation, an opportunity. I just created this week. I've had multiple people that I've talked to over the last couple of months, and they're not able to join me at my multi-$1,000 coaching programs. For those, I do guarantee you results in writing, or I keep working with you for free. But in these times that are different and where we have invested money in different things and they haven't worked, I too have done that. I'm not willing to do that anymore. I want people to just be able to put their toe in, see if A, they like me, if they can handle the sound of my voice, my quirks, if they believe in what I'm doing and that it will work for them. This is an opportunity to get to know. I've got some recorded recordings that I have put together over my 7-8 years of doing this. I've been doing more recordings, and I've been doing this for 10 years, but I just started doing the recordings in the last 7 years. And so $97 a month or $9.97 pay in full. And it's your invitation to just explore if this works. And if this works for you and you like being in that program, the good news is those are what we call, that's the foundation for the work that I do with people when I get with them one-on-one. I get them to go through these videos anyways, so you won't be wasting your time. It's an opportunity to invest in yourself for your success, an opportunity to learn what I have to teach that will teach you about you and how your brain works and how your unconscious mind is working, so that you can perhaps have a result by just doing this, which would be awesome. So, one new message. Ouch. What questions do you have? What did you learn? What do I need to know? Yeah, Cheryl.
Can you talk a little more about the NLP programming? Because I'm wondering if since so much of this is at the unconscious or subconscious level, don't we need something like that or hypnosis to really get at the
That's my belief, Cheryl.
Yeah.
Is the bigger program. So what I'm doing right now is I just created a little offer for this. But the bigger program, the work that I do with people, is that what you're asking? The getting to the unconscious mind, clearing, yeah. Okay. Thank you for asking. So what I do is I guarantee results in writing, or I work with people until they have the result that they want. So what happens is we start with a 3-hour session, because I want to hear everything that's happened to you, how you're thinking, what the problem is, what's not serving you, what's going on, what results have you been getting that aren't working. Then we go down and we discover what the root problem is. You remember that thought, the thing at the bottom, because it's driving everything. Then the second session is I go in and I do something called timeline therapy. This is past life regression. It's not just, we're not supposed to call it past life regression, but essentially we float up above the timeline and we go into the past and you do a change history. You release all the negative emotional gestalts that are dragging you down, those big boulders that are stopping you. And then we do all of the major negative emotions: anger, sadness, fear, hurt, guilt. Sometimes we need to do rage, terror, grief, depression. It depends on the person. And then we release the limiting decision that at some point in time you decided whatever limiting beliefs, because you can't have a limiting belief unless you decide. So we release the limiting decision, not the belief, because when we release the decision, all the beliefs go. And then I work with people to set up their tasks and their focus and their goals so that they're taking action. So to our friend Katie, who's not taking the action that she wants to take, you would be accountable to me, and I would be holding you accountable to just, people get all upset. You're going to tell me to do things. It's like, no. I'm going to tell you to do what you tell me you want to do. Those are the tasks that we create. So if you say to me, I want to be more visible, Suzanne, I want to be doing 3 reels a week. Great. Did you do your 3 reels every week? Did you do, anyways, all that? Did you start your YouTube channel? Did you? And then over the course of a few months, we're doing NLP techniques. We're doing more hypnosis techniques. We're going deeper. We're identifying all the parts of you that are fractioning out that are not serving you over and over and over again. We're just going in and releasing whatever resistance. So the second session, we've released most of the problems. And then the rest of the time, it's tweaking and clearing and moving things aside that aren't serving you so that you can get the results that you want. And what I particularly love about this work, so it's deep work without the heavy work. What I particularly love about this is it feels easy because it's your unconscious mind, that 90% that knows what's really right for you. And we use all of these various techniques to clear all of those. Did that answer your question? It's kind of a long-winded question. Yeah. Yeah. Kind of a long-winded answer. The question was short, but the answer is long. There's a lot. Katie, what did you get out of today? What did you learn?
I love that. Well, I got a couple things.
Yeah.
I wrote down, my desire is to create a better strategy. So I'm trying to focus on the positive. I love the decide, commit, focus, action. So I have a follow-up question to Cheryl on, so you, with the year commitment, it sounds like you start off with like a 3-hour session and another longer session, and then does it move into shorter, or how does it, like, from a time commitment and whatever, what does it look like?
Yeah. Thank you. Good clarity. So I was not clear. So the offer that I've given you today for $97 a month is access to the videos, which will give you the foundation of everything that I teach around NLP and learning about you and what I call frames. So how your unconscious mind is wired, how your brain is wired, how you're doing the problem, all of that. It's really videos and one 1-hour group call a month. So similar to this. The bigger, deeper change work that I do is a bigger package. And that is working with me over several months, and it's one-on-one. You have access to the videos, of course. And then I will say to you, okay, so I need you to go in and watch these 3 videos before our next session. And then I'll say to you, okay, go in and watch this video before our next session. Okay, now you're going to need this video. Okay, we're going to clear this for you. So we work together. So that's when that's working with me one-to-one and what I call the experience or the exemplify. That's when we're doing the one-on-one work, the deep personal history, the 3-hour session, the timeline therapy. Yeah. With the $97 a month, I'll be doing a 1 group call, and I have a format where we come on and we celebrate. We share celebrations, because here's the thing. The more you celebrate, instead of what's wrong, what did I not do? We have to celebrate. So we're reprogramming our brain and rewiring it by celebrating and talking about challenges. And I'll do a clearing in those sessions, like usually a quantum linguistics clearing, change history, something quick that I can do with a group, high level, not personal. And then we do clarity. What clarity did you have as a result of that? What commitment are you taking? And then there's a 5th C. I've forgotten what it was. Celebrate, challenge, clearing, clarity, commitment. And then, so what you're going to make a commitment to the group, yourself first, and the group every month. And then the next month, come in and say, I did it. I did what I committed to. And if you didn't, we'll find out what's going on, what challenge came up, and then we'll do a clearing. Because I'd really like to see people moving forward and getting the results that they want. And we know, like, you've probably been in coaching programs before. I know Cheryl and I have, where there's accountability, and we need to, when we show up, we hold ourselves accountable, we take action, and we get the results that we want. So is that clearer? Yeah. With all my programs, you get the Explore. And if you decide to just start in at the Explore today, which is the videos in the 1 hour a month, if you decide in 2 months, going, yeah, okay, she's the woman for me, she's got the answer, then we just apply what you paid to the next solution. The thing I love about NLP and hypnosis and working with the unconscious mind is it's fast. It's no more, you don't need to do it. You get to do the mindset work forever because we're constantly growing and evolving. But we don't have to take years doing it. So working with me for about 6 months, the guaranteed package, Cheryl, this is where China, this is where it would be really helpful for me to have the graphic that I did not pull up because I was focused on the, that's funny. I'm going to put in here, I'm going to put some links in here. Cheryl, I am going to answer your question. Here's the link to book a clarity session with me. If you want to go deeper and talk about you, I do have a number of packages, but I'm going to put also, I'm sorry, there's a bunch of links coming. The Quantum You Explore, which is monthly, and then the Quantum You Pay and Explore Painful. Okay. I have 4 packages, Cheryl. The one I typically offer, like the best, is the $6,000 one, where I work with you. I guarantee results in writing. That's the first level. I guarantee your results in writing. So if you come to me and we do all the clearing techniques and you take action, I will guarantee your results in writing as long as they're reasonable. So like Cheryl, if you say to me, and I can't remember your situation. It's been a couple of years since we've chatted, but you said to me, Suzanne, I have no business. I don't know what I want to do, but I want to make $1 million a week. I'm happy to help you get there, but I don't think I can get you from 0 to 100 for $1 million a week. But I can do 3 times your neurology. So if in your business you've made $40,000 a year, I know I can get you to 120. As long as you take the action that we agree on. And it's funny, I know that I come across as it's all about the money, but it's not. That's just the result. Because a lot of people came to me a couple of years ago. That's how actually I met several of my past clients. They say, oh, I heard you're really good with money goals. I'm like, sure, I'm good with money goals because it's a result. But I've also seen people lose weight. I've also seen people find the love that they wanted. I've also seen people, it depends on the goal that they want. Because the process that I use is the same. It's what's inside of them. So I just worked with a client who wanted to have love, a relationship, because she was 50 years old and never had a relationship, with a meaningful individual. And she also wanted to increase her business. She had a $5,000 a year business. As we were working on both, but she was taking actions towards finding love. Her business is still a $500,000 a year business because what she had decided in our work together was that it was more important for her to find love. She's now in a loving relationship and has been with Daryl since June of last year. And she's delighted. Yeah. But you can see where her focus was. I can't remember if did I answer the number, $6,000? So that is $6,000, guaranteed results in writing as long as you take action. And we get started. So, and then I have other programs that are higher and one that's a little lower. But the lower ones are not guaranteed because I got to work with you long enough. So please tell me what was your biggest aha? Thank you so much for being here. China, I appreciate you being here for the full hour. I know that you have other things to do. We're pretty much done, but I just wanted to ask, China, do you have any questions? Any thoughts?
I feel like I need to take the rest of the day off now to go meditate on all the ahas that came up.
Yay!
That was amazing. Amazing.
What was your favorite aha?
My favorite aha is I have a subconscious belief or something tied up to be being tired. I'm really scared to take extra stuff on because I'll become tired.
Mm-hmm.
So it's what keeps me from action. I got clarity, I got excitement for all of it. I'm like, I don't have any of these belief issues, but there's not action being taken and it's related to my body. I'm kind of convinced maybe now that my body is making me tired so that I don't do extra stuff. I love the thermostat.
Okay, good.
Love the thermostat.
That's
Um,
exactly what's going on.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's like, oh, that's what it believes is happening, and it's going to be doing everything possible to keep me there. Um, so it was so, so good. Um, and then I'm gonna listen to everything again because I think Cheryl and Katie both know I just started working with Susan. So Suzanne, there was a Z in there, Susan. There was a Z. It's a Z. It's a Z. I figured out what's happening.
Bother me when you call me Susan. I'm very, but when other people do it, like China's best friend is Susan. So when she says it, I'm like, oh, that's okay. She's just thinking of her best friend. That makes me feel happy. But when other
And I
people do it, I'm like, oh,
and I also don't put enough emphasis on the back end because I'm saying Susan with a Z. Anyways, yeah, it was amazing, and I can't wait to look at the videos and the program and stuff, or the package that you put together.
yeah,
It's
it'll
all
make
in
more
there.
sense to you because China, when we first met for the first time last week, this is the second time I'm seeing China.
Second.
And she said, I know how I met China was through a past client. And she said, I've seen the transformation in a past client, and I still don't know what you do. And that's how I need help, is helping people understand what I do because it's so convoluted. Essentially, I tap you into the perfect blueprint inside of your own conscious mind, whether it's for wealth or health or safety, security, survival, success, whatever it is, I get clear everything that's not serving you so that you can know who you truly are.
I'd love to give you guys the testimonial of
Mm.
me, like adjacent of the person that
Oh,
worked with
yeah.
her as that person's assistant. Let me tell you whose life Suzanne made better. Mine.
What?
Made my life better because you were working with my client.
Yeah.
I was assisting her. And so watching her over the course of a year, like, she doesn't waffle anymore. She makes such fast decisions. She is like not afraid to mess up, to fail, to look bad in front of people. Like all these things that I know used to like stand in her way. She's like, I don't know, who cares? Move on. Move on. And she is so fast and effective. And like her focus is on just she never loses the plot anymore. That's the best way to put it. She does not lose the plot. And she was a plot loser magician. Um, so yeah,
Nice. Thank you for sharing that.
yeah.
I love
All
that.
right. I'm gonna jump off. This was great. I can't wait to listen to it again like 2 or 3 times. And
Awesome.
everybody have a nice rest of your day.
Thank you, China. Katie, Cheryl, hang on for a second. So I'm going to stop the recording so we can be just